of my very first origins in the wonderful network marketing world. It's about to get real. It's about to get honest. It's about to get pretty crazy and a little bit of dark, but some excitement mixed in there. A few twists, a few turns. You're in for quite the treat, Mom Wire. Buckle up. Here we go.
Hey, Misfit Mom Warrior. This is Coach Spiegel, and this is my really low voice. This is my really Barry Manilow voice. It's so deep. It's so sexy, isn't it? And shoot, not Barry Manilow. Who am I talking? Barry something. Love guy. The love guy. Yeah, love guy. Anyways, this is my really low Barry voice. Very sexy. And so, hey, what brings you here, Mom Warrior? Are you looking for some help in your network marketing for MLMing? Yep, you found it. We're going to be going over this stuff called traction-based marketing, and it's pretty much the bomb.com. And so what else brings you here? You want to bring your product, you want to share it with other people. Did your product really help with your world, and you want to help other people, but you don't know how to share it with people without coming across as salesy and slimy and used car salesman-y? Well, you're in the right spot, because I'm going to show you just how to do just that there without any of that crap. Pushing on your friends and family, bugging them all day long on Facebook. Your XYZ MLM product just came out, the new line. You're like, oh great, let me go tell everybody about it on Facebook, and you get like 1 like on your Facebook post. You're like, what's wrong with people? Don't they know this is the coolest thing ever? Yes, your product is the coolest thing ever. However, you're kind of going all about it a little wrong, Mom Warrior, and it's not your fault. They never showed you a better way, and this show is that better way. It's called the traction-based marketing way. Did I say that already? Oh, I'm losing my deep voice. So anyways, so you want to change lives, right? You're here to figure out how to change lives, to help people impact the world, and you're a misfit because it's not enough for you to just be a mom. Even though you're marvelous at it, you're the best of the best at it, and you love your children more than anything on this earth, Mommy's feeling a little unfulfilled. Sorry, kiddos. Mommy wants to do her own thing. She wants to go help people, create something that she can call her own. You don't quite fit in with your girlfriends that talk about babies and toddlers and goo goo gaga this and what show are they watching on that and diapers and all that. You're like, I need to do something. You ever seen the show? Yeah, never mind. This intro is getting really long. 2 minutes already? So did you figure it out what you're here for yet? Yeah. Get on it. See you in the end there. Hey, good day to you, Misfit Mom Warrior. It's your Coach Spiegel here. World's most energy-full and excited coach here to talk to you. And I'm going to have to be super perfectly honest. I am so tired right now. I've been up for 15 hours or so. Started super early, and now it's in later afternoon. And I had an idea. I was driving like home. I'm like, ooh, talking to my Mom Warrior, my Misfit Mom Warrior, usually that's like 14 energy drink. So maybe if I do that, then I probably won't fall asleep at the wheel. So I do apologize if I'm like 2% less energy full than normal. But thank you for listening. Thank you for helping me stay alive. Thank you for helping me stay awake. While I share with you a little story today, I'm going to flat out talk about myself. But not just about myself. Okay, I'm gonna share some lessons with you, namely my very first how I got going in this world of MLM. I didn't even know it was called MLM. I got to be honest with you. I heard that about 3 years ago, MLM, when I was actually building up my online business, using funnels, understanding marketing and all that stuff. And I see MLM, like, oh, MLM. I'm like, what's this MLM? I always known it as network marketing, and I think even before that, it was something else, wasn't it? I think it was just kind of known always as network marketing. When I got going, I didn't even know they had a word for it, that they actually called it, like, network marketing. It was just a thing. So I'm going to tell you the horrifyingness of it all. I'm going to get real with you. I'm going to tell you my straight up mistakes. I'm going to straight up my failures. And it's going to be a nice little journey. Tell you all about it. Just how wrong this company, well, I don't technically have anything against them. Like, it was totally my fault. But, yeah, they didn't really go about things very, very good. And I'm going to be picking a little bit today on that company. I love them today. They've turned a lot of people around today, and they're full of great people today, and they're still doing really, really good. But how they went, they might be doing things different. I don't know. I haven't talked one-on-one with any. I don't have any clients right now that are in the Herbalife. Herbalife was the name of the company, okay? Herbalife. And so it was a fascinating company, great products. I don't like today how it's very soy-based. Their shakers are very soy-based, so I think they probably should be planning ahead a little bit. Just there's like huge backlashes going on about soy. Everybody's kind of just now discovering the ramifications of it. But as far as like that's the product, somebody's got a choice between a soy weight loss shake or a McDonald's Big Mac. Obviously, the shake is what's going to do it well. So, and it's all of course proven and everything. I just was not a fan of how they went about things. So. It started, I forget how old I was, I'm 35 right now when I'm talking to you, and I do believe I was like 22, 23. I was in college for a couple of years. It was going okay. I think I was 21, to be honest with you. Yeah, I think it was like 2021. I was in college for a couple of years, and I was a high-up manager at McDonald's. Speaking of McDonald's, I was a super high manager. This is before I got on a health kick, and I'll share a little bit of that with you today, kind of where it all began. And so what ended up happening was I was at McDonald's, and I'll tell you the story how my one is the forbidden letter. The forbidden letter led me down the path to where I'm talking to you today. It was one letter. You talk about like a butterfly, the butterfly effect. Is that how they say it? Butterfly effect. Led me to talking to you right now, right today. It's just fascinating. One forbidden letter led to me meeting my wife. Hold on, I gotta take a little swig of water. One forbidden letter led to me almost going to jail for 30 years. It's probably longer than that. I don't know how long I would have gone for jail. Probably a really long time. I do believe I shared that story already. So if not, you stay put. I'll tell you all about it. I made some mistakes, made some bad choices. One forbidden letter led to me right now being on the road to becoming a millionaire. And I don't really say that to be bragging. Like what you need to understand about money, Momware, and I was super messed up about this. And that's again what led me to not a very good state. What you want to do, what $1 million represents, is that money comes to you as a result of the value you kick out into the world, okay? If you have $100 deposited in your checking account each morning, you wake up and there's like a couple $100 sitting there, you wake up and there's a couple of orders for your product that's sitting there, or the way I'll teach it you, it's going to be not only orders for your product, but orders for your actual business. Like it's actually your money. How'd you like it if you were, right now you're selling a product, you know that you're getting about 10, 20% commission on something like that? Like you're no offense, I am too. We're salespeople for that respective company, and I don't know about you. I'm super proud to be a salesperson for them. I'm super proud to be an advocate for them. Like when they're great companies, like the ones that we are part of, and whichever one you're part of, even if it's Herbalife, I honor and respect you, whichever it is. I'm not saying there's anything bad about Herbalife. I think they're a great one. They know what they're doing, and I just wish they would. Do things. This is of the past. They might be doing things different. But you kick out. You have that money. So right now you're getting 10 to 20%. Commission. You sell that bottle. You sell that package, that weight loss package, $200 a month, $300 a month. You sell them the 30-day challenge, whichever it is. That's awesome. You get a commission on that, 20%. And then that's it. Obviously, it's recurring. So that's the sweetest business model ever, recurring model, business model. Can't beat that. And but how would you like to sell something that you get 100% commission on? It's all yours. So that's what I'll be showing you. Okay, you stick around. That's what I honestly, that's my mission is to show you. That's my calling. That's my God's demanding of me to show you. So anyways, one forbidden letter led to all that. So I was working up as a higher up manager. I was like, started there and I was like 17 or something. And then I was like there for like 4 or 5 years. And it's kind of how it goes at McDonald's. Like whoever doesn't quit usually gets promoted. Yeah, you've been here enough. Here you go. Here's a manager for you. I don't want to be a manager. Too bad. You're a manager. And so there it was as a level manager, and they had me on salary, and I hated it. Hated the job. I was always like that. I've always felt like a misfit, probably like you. Always felt like different. Always felt a little outside of everybody else. There's everybody else, and then there is me. And always thought a little different. Always thinking out of the box. I've been accused weird 80 billion times over, like today, every day. And you're really weird. You probably all thought that. That's cool. I think that's awesome. That means why would you want to be boring? Why would you want to be boring? I don't know. Maybe I'm boring too. I don't know. So, anyways, this guy. So there I'm working at McDonald's, and what happened was we were like the first shift. I was the second shift manager, and she was the first shift manager. And you kind of how it goes in that type of environment. There's always like a rivalry, morning versus night, first shift versus second shift, day shift versus night. It's always like a rivalry. It's like a rule that we have to have. And so there it was, and my friend was working there as well at night, and the first shift lady, I think her name was Deb. I could be wrong, not sure. But she didn't do her daytime jobs. She was supposed to like take the muffins out and like let them thaw, and you know how that list is. McDonald's is totally systematized, and she totally didn't do it. And so my friend was working that night, and my friend had to stay late, and I think I had that night off. And my friend had to stay late. Oh, I think I was there. Yeah, I did work that day, and she had to get done work with early or something, and my friend had to stay late and do her work, and she then ended up not getting her homework done or something like that. And I was so mad. I was so PO'd at this Deb because I'm like, so I wrote a really bad letter. It was a really negative letter. I shouldn't have wrote it. I was way out of place. I was just angry, and I wrote it to our manager. Our manager's name was Nancy, and she was a sweetheart. And she was getting worked to the bone too by McDonald's. They were just chewing her up and spitting her out. She was on salary too. Well, we'll pay you for 45 hours, but you go ahead and come on in for 80. Yeah. And so I wrote a letter to Nancy about Deb, about what she did, and I said not some great stuff about Deb. I'm like, what she do? Sits in the office, sits on her beep, and stuffs her face with the beep, and like, oh, she could have did this, she could have did that, and I was complaining, I was whining, I was a whiny little, you know what. And I totally shouldn't have did that. I admit it. I made a mistake. I was totally out of line. I shouldn't have did that. But I did. It's in the past. And so I folded that letter up. I taped it up. And I left it on the counter for Nancy to get to in the morning. Next morning when she came in for her shift, I put a tape on it that says, for Nancy only. And well, guess what, Mom? You're smiling right now because you know what happened. You know where it went. So what happened is Deb goes in there. She gets her little, I think she had like an egg muffin, and then she put jelly on it as she ate her egg muffin and then her cup of coffee. And she wasn't a bad person. She was a good person. Like, I don't know why, like, we personalize like people's work stuff. Like somebody's a bad worker and it's like automatically a bad human being. I'm like, I don't know. I was so immature. I'm so sorry, Deb. And so Deb goes in, and she was a sweetheart. She actually, one of her, I think it was her sister, she ended up giving her giving one of her kidneys to one of her daughters. Like, just pretty. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool what she did there. hey, if you need a kidney, Mom, you go ahead and give me a call. I'll give you one of my kidneys. I only got 2 of them, though, so I guess I can only give one away. Shoot, I wish I could have more kidneys to give away. So she goes into the office, and she starts munching on her little Egg McMuffin with jelly and her sipping her coffee, and there's a note labeled for Nancy only. Of course, she has to read it. So she whips it open and reads it, and she throws a hissy fit. She calls up Nancy, I'm quitting, da, 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 da. And so Nancy had to, like, settle us all down. We had to be like children and make us play nice, and we had to kind of force to get along. And then I was, like, all erupted with anger because it's like, she's reading a note she's not supposed to read. She feels a forbidden note. She read it. It wasn't directed to her. She broke the law. She broke the McDonald's law, Nancy. This is bull bleep. Bull! What's going on? And so we were both kind of in a tiffy like that. And I was already kind of mad. It wasn't fun anymore. It wasn't fun. It was so much stress, so much pressure, so much responsibility, and not much pay for it. I think I was getting like $8.25 an hour. This was, what time to tell you? I'm 35 now, so I'm early 20s, so early 2000s, 2002, 2003, somewhere in there. And so my girlfriend I was seeing at the time, she had a brother that worked over in Menards. There's a Menards, it's called the DC, the Distribution Center or something. And she got her brother was like a higher up type of manager. He was like manager of the maintenance team or something like that. And he was buddies with the hiring manager. And so my girlfriend, who was also a manager at McDonald's, like I said, they make everybody a manager. And just so you know that, yes, this is the girlfriend that ended up breaking my heart when I was eating. And throughout this entire time working at McDonald's, I was also quite chubby. And I put on even more weight post McDonald's. I'll get to that in a second. But yes, this is the girlfriend that broke my heart. Broke up with me, and I was 80 pounds overweight, and broke up with me, and I was like, I'm going to lose this weight. I'm going to win her back. And she's going to be shooting herself. She's going to be kicking herself like, I'm so stupid breaking up with that Eric guy. He's hot now. What was I thinking? I'm so stupid. That's what my goal was. So she ends up, her brother is at Menards, and Menards' starting pay is like $8.75 or $8.50. I don't remember. And she gets a job like that day. She jumps over there and gets a job. And I'm like, oh, sweet. I can get out of this place. Get away from Deb. Get free from Deb and Nancy and pressures. And you have friends with that? And I didn't have any inklings to be the life changer, any inklings to be. I always had that in me in school, though. I was always like the teacher. I was always like the tutor. I was always the one that was like teaching the class. And one time I was in chemistry class. His name was Brian, and he was, well, to the rest of the class, he was like the dumbest person in the class. And I loved the guy. He was like my best buddy. He was so cool. He had like a heart of gold, but he just wasn't, I don't know, academically smart. He's brilliant nowadays. He's got his own farm that he's just rocking it. Like, academics is so, nothing against academics at all, but it's not the end all be all. And he was struggling big time. Brian was in chemistry class, and I don't know how I knew enough to teach him. Like, I hate chemistry today. And there was, and I was teaching Brian how to pass, and he ended up passing like with a B, I believe. And I think it was Dr. Cook or Mr. Cook, our chemistry teacher, pulled me aside and was just like, Eric, you're really good at this teaching stuff. Brian got it. No, I haven't been able to get him. He's like, you got a gift for this. I'm like, oh, I'm just trying to help out my friend. I don't know. And so I kind of always had that. And I actually didn't. That's a long story there. Let's get back to Deb and the girlfriend and Menards. So there it was. And so I'm like, yeah, get me out of McDonald's. Get me out of here, place. Sick of McDonald's. Way too much work, not enough paid, not enough benefits. So I'm like, I'm out of here. I quit. And I like picked up the salary at Menards like that same day. I'm like, oh, my girlfriend got in. I'm going to get in. And so kind of what you're suspecting all the while, Mom. A week goes by, no call back. I had a little bit of savings there. Another week comes by, no call back. Another week goes by, no call back. I'm like, what? what's going on? I call up the Menards. I talked to the girlfriend's brother. He was the higher up manager guy in the maintenance department, to have him talk to the hiring guy. And what's going on? What's going on? And he's like, the brother is like, maybe overqualified for it. I'm like, overqualified? What? I was a manager at McDonald's, and the girlfriend got in, no problem. Licky split. What's going on here? What's happening? I don't get it. So I'm freaking out. I'm watching my, I had to pay a couple bills in that 2 weeks there. I'm watching my savings account go down, down, down. No job. I'm like, well, looks like I'm not getting that job at Menards. Time to open up. It's kind of freak out mode, panic city mode. And so I open up the paper, the classifieds, and scroll down. And there was an ad in there. Kind of a couple of ads there, and it said, hey, looking for somebody to earn $5,000 a month or something like that. Free information. Call here. It was like some real. I don't remember what the ad said, to be honest with you. It was a really good copy because it worked. I called up. I'm like, ooh. I wonder. And just call and listen to the message, and I forget how it worked. I don't know if I had to call and then leave my information, and then they sent me a kit, like an information pack, and I kind of looked it over, and it was all money, make money at home, set up your own business. And just the thought of that, like, really fired me up. Like, oh, I don't have to be somebody's little you know what? I can be my own boss. I can make my own money. What? Oh. And so, and then I get a call from the guy, and you probably figured out by now, this is Herbalife. And I got a call from the guy, and he kind of explained things. And to be honest with you, I don't remember what he said, but he was probably really good at selling it. And because I signed up, I'm like, I got lost in the dream. He started. There's another information pack. I remember like it was a brochure, and there's all these success stories of how they were like super freaking out, and I remember the testimonials and the success stories. I don't remember if it was like a DVD that I watched too. I know it was a brochure, but I'm like thinking, these guys they don't look very smart, and these people look like totally average people, and they're talking about all this money that they're making, that they didn't have to work all these hours. Wonder how that is. I got sold the dream. Okay, I didn't even know what the product was. I didn't know anything about it. I just was like, for me, $10,000 a month, and then the sales rep guy, I think his name was Scott. I want to say Scott. He was really good. He was really good at selling it. He had me write down like $10,000 a month. What would that do for you? Go ahead, write it all down. $10,000 a month. So how much? He's asked me all sorts of questions about the pain that I was in, and I didn't tell him anything about me quitting at McDonald's. Thought I had a job lined up, but I didn't. Talked about all that. Oh, it did turn out that I got a job at it was a Menards. It was a off branch of Menards. It was it was called Midwest Manufacturing, where they built trusses. They're a factory job, and they built trusses that they sold in Menards. So it was a Menards own company. They just called it a different name. It was like some separate factory work. I ended up getting hired there. But at the same time, I couldn't let go of this dream. I'm like, wait a second, do all that. And Scott was really good at selling it. And so before I knew it, handed him a credit card. It was like $300 for the thingy. And the stuff arrived in the mail, and what really won me over, I don't know if they're still doing it. I hope that they are, because it really worked. It's like, I'm going to work with you one-on-one, personally. We're going to talk every week. You're going to send me messages all the time. You're going to give updates. I'm going to give you stuff to do, and you're going to do it. I'm going to show you step for step how to do it. And it was super smart. It was super awesome. And oh, hang on. Oh, I was almost in an accident. Almost got rear-ended. That'd been fun. So what ended up happening is got sold the dream and got it. And I had no interest in health and fitness. I had no interest in losing weight. For me at that time, all I wanted was that $10,000 a month. I was like, I just want to make $10,000 a month. God, that'd be so cool if I could just make $10,000 a month. And the product, the Herbalife, was a means to an end. Today, that is a very wrong way to do it. Extremely wrong way to do it. you don't want to try to force a square peg in a round hole. Like, I was zero passionate about the product whatsoever. And I was forced to go on the product, which not terribly high up on. I think I needed to lose weight. Yeah, I did need to lose weight at that time. And yeah, I did need to lose weight. But I was like taking the sugar stuff and it wasn't working. I was still eating like crap all the time. And like, it wasn't in my ambition, in my dreams to lose weight and like work on all that and go on a diet to even lose weight. And so it was just felt wrong from the get-go, that part. And so he walked me through steps. Step one was print out like 80 billion of those flyer thingies, those like the jacket pocket with the fluorescent yellow, and I think it said, looking for blah, 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 people get paid to lose weight. And I had to go all around town and put them up everywhere. I put them in bathrooms, at urinals, and taped them all up. And put them in wherever there's eyeballs, and just went around town and did all that. And I think I got one call. I ended up putting out about probably like 2,000. I was like watching television. I was watching the History Channel, and I'm like there slicing. I went out and bought a paper slicer thingy, and I'm just there for like 3 hours just slicing up paper and packing up jackets, and then running out there, setting them all up, taping them all up. And it was probably a couple thousand put up, and I think I got one call from it. And I copied everything that they said I was supposed to do. I did it all. Knowing what I know today about copy and about writing ads and all that, I'm like, yeah, that probably could have got made better. A lot of it too was like probably where I put those ads. I was the guy, so I was going to the guys' urinals and putting them up at the guys' urinals. I was at McDonald's one time. I was actually like, this is like my little method of kind of payback. No, wait. That was somewhere else. No, it was somewhere else. I was at a grocery store, and where they buy their paper, like I put the jacket there with the thingy, and people can come down and tear it out, and totally worthless. Like I said, one callback. And, I had to like had to go get a business license. I had to get a credit card charger thing that run a merchant account, and then I ended up paying like $80 a month for this merchant account just to run credit cards. And then I had to get a second line at the house, and so Charter had to come over, and that was like $400 bill there to insert another line. So I had like an office downstairs that I was working on, and I had to go and buy a fax machine. I had to fax in all these orders that I was supposedly going to get, and it's all totally my fault. I totally get it. Herbalife did an awesome job. They walked me through step for step, but it was just like one thing I had to buy after another. I'm like, holy cow, like $300 for that kit. And going broke. I did find a job. Like I was working in there at the other time. Going broke. And so it should have been pretty good. But, man, it was just like expense after expense after expense. Pause. Let me take a nice little drink of water. I'll tell you what, though. I was living up. I was on fire. I loved it. I didn't like spending all this money that I was already like, I had savings and all that, but I didn't like spend all this money with no money coming in yet. And, but I loved it. It fired up something in me. It fueled something in me. It fed something. Like, it sparked something in me. It was just like, I got fed the blue pill. I forget how it is in Matrix. Is it the red pill or the blue pill? It's like I've been eating the blue pill all these years, and here's the red pill. I'm like, wait a second, there's this entire world going on. And to tell you, all that was awesome. Even more awesome was day one of that Herbalife journey. Day one was when Scott told me, he goes, your first assignment, what you want to do is read Rich Dad Poor Dad. Go ahead, read it. I'm like, kind of a strange name for a title, but okay. And he says, that's going to kind of get you in the right frame of mind for what's going to be happening. I'm like, well, Rich Dad Poor Dad, that's got nothing to do with shakers and losing weight, and what's that got to do with anything? But I read that book. I started reading it, and then I had to go for work that day, and I couldn't stop thinking about it when I was at work at my factory job. And I couldn't get the first introduction. If you've ever read that book, you know what I'm talking about. That first introduction, like, does something to you. He goes, one of my dads believes in climbing the corporate ladder. My rich dad believes in owning the ladder. One of my dads drives by a car that he really likes and says, don't even look at that car. We can't afford it. The other dad drives by that car and says, how can I afford that? And he went on like that, the intro. Just the intro, it was like a switch got flipped in me. And I have never been the same ever since at all. And what was cool is so I read that whole entire book front to back. And then I never read it again till 2 years ago when I got started back up on the entrepreneur journey. I'll tell you all about what happened there. But it fired something up in me. So what ended up happening is, I had to take out ads and paper, and up to this point, I was debt-free. I was like totally lived debt-free. That was my dad was preaching, and like credit cards were the devil. Credit cards are the devil. Don't stay away from the credit cards. But meanwhile, like I have Scott, this rep, saying, "Hey, you want to make some money? You said you want to make $10,000 a month. Yeah. Well, you're gonna have to take ads out in the paper." And so I call up a paper in whatever town to run an ad, looking for 150 people to get paid to lose weight. Da da blah blah blah. And then they called the number, and there I got a couple calls in. Oh, an ambulance go by. Let's say a quick little prayer, make sure that they're okay. Good. Did you hear that? Going by. And so what happened was I took out some ads and some papers for that ad and got quite a few calls. Ended up going through a couple quote unquote closing presentations. I remember I talked to this one guy. He was a truck driver that he called up, and that's just the thing. Like Herbalife is just doing things so bad back in that day. There, I don't know how they're doing things now, and where it's just kind of like one product for everybody. Here's for everybody. Lose weight, and if you're in the weight loss niche, like you're up against Weight Watchers, you're up against Nutrisystem, you're up against all the other MLMs in the weight loss. It's just like, So it was like looking for your 16 people to get paid to lose weight, and took it out. So I actually got like one person that called. It was a guy. And, of course, it's a totally different sales pitch. Now knowing what I know, like you're going to talk to a guy a whole lot different than you talk to a female, a girl, when you're selling XYZ product. And it's just so much easier today. Just so much easier narrowing down your target market, like knowing your customer inside and out. It's almost like you're live inside their head. If you know your target market so good that you say something to them, or you are reply back their pain and their misery and their frustrations back to them, and they say, "Oh my gosh, have you been like reading my diary? Is there like a hidden camera inside my like room? How do you know that? How do you know all that?" That's how well you can know your target market, because when you can describe the pain, the problem, and the misery that's going on for them better than they can know it themselves, they just not logically assume that you have the solution. They say, so you got something to take care of all that we talked about, right? And you're like, yeah, I do. Look at this. So anyways, so I remember this one trucker guy called up. It was like he worked for like 10 days in a row, and I called him up on his one day off in the morning, and he's like, yeah, I don't think so. I don't even remember how much I was selling it for, but I was super nervous. Heart was beating. I was on the phone, and of course it was three-way, so Scott was there listening and give me pointers and all that. It's a beautiful system how they set up. They just kind of go about it the wrong way. You can drive the most beautiful car, but if it's going down the wrong lane, something's not going to happen. Something bad's going to happen. So anyways, took out a bunch of ads. Ended up going in debt quite a bit with the credit cards, taking out ads. To run like one ad in one paper for like 6 days, it was like $500. And I'm like, knowing what I know now about like ROI, return on investment, I'm like, if I even get one person, I'm not going to see that $500 for like 2 years, Scott. What the bleep? And no, you got to take out ads in the paper. You got to do all this. You got to do all that. What really got me? You want to know what really got me? Where I was just pissed off. I was just mad at the whole entire thing. I loved being an entrepreneur. I loved, like, it was in my control now. But I'm like, was already getting tight on money, and I was in school already full time, and I was already working full time, and this was something I was doing on the side, and I'm like, something's got to give. And I lead. I don't like I said, I wasn't even doing as good a job I probably could have done. Is all my fault. But here's what the kicker of it. Here's what really got me. I think this was like the first week, and this just left a sour taste in me from here on out. And you probably know what I'm talking about. Is Scott calls me on and says, I need a list of 20 of your friends and family. Get that list out. I'm like, I don't want to talk to my friends and family about this. Too bad. You're getting those lists out, or I'm not talking to you ever again. I'm firing you as my client. And I already had like thousands of dollars invested at this point. I'm like, okay. So I like went through the list of people, and of course, it was me introducing, and I learned this company, and here's the guy that is there. And then Scott takes it from there, and he talks to him, and I had my girlfriend's mom was on that list, and she let Scott have it. She screamed at Scott, how flippin' dare you? I'm at home, I'm watching my teaser lives, and you interrupting, blah, blah, blah. Oh, my gosh. And from that moment on, that mom hated me. Me and the girlfriend got along fine, well, until we broke up a couple of years later after that. But the mom hated me. She hated that. She just hated that. And I forget who else was on that list, but I have people today that's on that list that will kind of hold that against me, what just happened there. I tell you what, Mom Warrior, just people, when you're invading somebody's private space, you're invading them. They feel bum rushed, forced into a sales pitch that they didn't ask for. There's just no way that you can win. Yeah, I'm sharing the product, and it's a great product, and they need it. I get that. I understand. I know. But people didn't ask to get that sales pitch. People didn't ask to be offered that. You can share with them. You can tell them how awesome this stuff is. But when you force your upline onto them, I see that as rape. I don't know. Like, they didn't ask. We're in a permission-based economy right now, permission-based marketing right now, where everybody's got their own control of how they want to be marketed to, how they want to be sold to. There's a commercial. We have a chance to flip around the commercial. Commercial comes on the radio. I can turn that off. We're not supposed to be forced into these commercials. We get mad when it's there because it's something sacred about it. It's something intimate with it, with somebody like that. And like, something about that selling stuff. Like, people just hate to be sold to, and not only do they hate to be sold to, oh, you're going to sell me something. You're going to sell me something, aren't you? They hate it, but even more so, they hate it when they're forced into it, when they didn't even ask for it, when they didn't even put themselves in it. Why do you think people are like, oh, that car looks nice? And the wife goes, well, maybe you should stop over and take a look at it. No, I'm going to get bum rushed by a guy. He's going to tell me, he's going to sell me, he's going to try to sell me the car. Nah, 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 nah. Like, people hate being sold to. They hate talking to salespeople. And so that's what happened there. That left kind of a sour taste in my mouth. And to this day, I'll get calls from like friends that will like say, I had a call one time from my mom. She goes, just so you know, she sends me a text message. My mom, bless her heart, she's learned how to text message this past year, and she's rocks at it. She's like really good at text messaging. I'm like, Mom, you're awesome. You just keep reinventing yourself. And she sent a text message. Just so you know, you're going to have a strange phone call coming up from Sensi. They're going to be calling you about something, da-da-da-da-da. And I had to give you them your number. Otherwise, I wouldn't have got my free candle thingy. I'm like, Sensi. I'm like, well, heads up, Mom. That was pretty awesome. I should have did that 20 years or whenever that happened, where my list of 20. I felt like it was like gunpoint. I felt like we're calling these people. Otherwise, you're dead. Your family's dead. And we're going to take all your money. That's how it felt like. Like, I flat told Scott, I'm like, no, I'm not comfortable with this. I don't want to do this. Well, you're doing it. Maybe it was just Scott being a renegade or something like that. I don't know if that's what they're teaching, but gosh, I hope things are different right now. I usually get approached every week, but every couple weeks for somebody for Herbalife. So I don't know if it's even better yet. Next person that approaches me, I'll ask all about it. So anyways, you're probably wondering where this is all going. So things kind of turned out okay. I could about another probably like 2 hours kind of filling the gap from there to where we are here. But how it all started with that forbidden letter is, well, I'll kind of summarize what ended up happening. Is so I dropped the network marketing. I still felt that entrepreneurship, but I just focused on school instead. I'm like, that was going to make my parents proud, going through like me graduating from school, me being their only, to this day. I'm still their only college graduate. Bachelor college graduate. They've had kids graduate from technical school and some other forms of school, and so even though I didn't really quite care for school, I didn't care for it, but I did just fine in it. Like, it wasn't like the classic entrepreneur, like, this sucks. I learned a ton. I loved it. I was learning. I don't use any of it today, to be honest with you. Actually, a little bit. But anyways, I about a couple years after that incident with Herbalife, we broke up. I told Scott, I'm like, this is not. I'm just going to focus on school and focus on trying to not be broke, trying to make bills each month, and I just don't have time for this. Goodbye, Scott. And so we parted ways, and then a couple of years later, I was sitting on. Oh yeah, and then that was another bad thing. They're obviously not doing that today. I had to buy. I went in debt a whole bunch more. I had to buy a whole bunch of product for Herbalife, and then I had to go off and sell it. I had to go unload it. I'm like, God, inventory, hold on to inventory. Like, it's super like smart now with like drop shipping, but back then it was just like so stupid, and it would have been just fine. It's actually what is just fine. Like, it was just a wrong time for me. I wish somebody told me, like, hey, you're gonna be a salesperson for Herbalife, and you're gonna try to help people lose weight. Are you okay with that? Well, I'm not really into that kind of stuff. It's kind of super ironic now, but at that time I was like, wasn't even close in my mind losing weight and being fit and anything like that. So I was just after the money. Like, that was just a vehicle to get my $10,000 a month, just working 10 hours a week type of thing. And so a couple of years later, the girlfriend did end up breaking up with me. I was about 80 pounds overweight there. She ended up breaking up with me, and had a decision to make one night whether to. It was actually during the day. I'll tell you about all that story. I basically decided to. I was like praying. One night I was wanting to kill myself. I was so heartbroken. I was so in misery. That pain was just awful. It was my first heartbreak ever. And she wanted to kill myself. I was super drunk one night, and I was sitting there at the sink with the knife. And I was like, all right, here we go. I just want this pain to stop. And just then in the bathroom, a spider crawls up from the sink. Crawls up and starts running over, and I'm like, ew, spider, try to kill it. And I try to kill it, and it run away, scooted away, and I'm like, wait a second. That spider wants to stay alive. He doesn't know what he's living for. He just knows he's got to stay alive. If that spider's going to fight to stay alive, then I'm going to fight to stay alive. It's just that little extra, just like pulled me out, and maybe that spider saved my life today. Who knows? And so a couple days later, then I was like, well, if I'm not going to kill myself, if I'm not going to end it myself, I'm going to, I hear about accidents happen all the time. I hear about like stuff happening all the time, and people getting afflicted with this and that, dying. I'm like, so if I have a chance to like get in a car accident, I'm going to go ahead and let that happen. I'm not going to do anything to get out of that car accident. We'll let God take me. Then I can leave this earth. I can make this pain stop, and then it won't be a suicide. And so sure enough, that's what was supposed to happen. I was driving home one day, and I was helping my parents out at their house. They were helping do some roofing. And I was driving the way home, and we were going through a really sketcy intersection. A guy pulls out in front of me, and I'm heading straight towards him, going about 55, and he pulls out, and he's got his look on his face like, oh, crap. He's got this look of, he's going to hit me. And I made the decision. I'm like, well, this is what I was praying for all since the breakup. Just wanted this pain to stop. Here it is. I guess I'm going to let it happen. And something took over me. I didn't have control of the wheel at that point. Something like took over my body, took over. Mom, where I honestly made the decision that this is what's going to happen. I'm like, yep, here's the end. Here we go. This is exactly what I was praying for this whole time. And something took over my arms and with the tire there, or with the tires and with the steering wheel like that. And I swerved right around it. I don't know how I missed it. It was like inches. And it was like in the middle of summer, but it was like I was skating on ice. The car was like, went this way, then went that way, and then it spun out and right in the ditch. And then I bawled. I felt something in me. I felt something take over. I felt something that was like, that wasn't me. I'm like, I felt it, and it just broke me down, just broke me in tears. Like I was supposed to die there. I wasn't. I was saved. I'm like, I was saved for something, for a reason. I guess I'm not supposed to die. I guess I'm not dying. So I'm like, I guess I'm living. What am I living for? I'm like, well, if I'm going to stay alive, if I'm not going to kill myself, and whatever that was isn't going to let me die. It's somebody's walks through a battlefield, bullets flying everywhere, and it's like they walks right through it and not a single bullet hits it. That's kind of what it felt like. I'm like, it's not so much it felt invincible. Invincible is just like, somebody doesn't want me to die. And I was pretty religious at that. Grew up Catholic my whole life, went to Catholic school system, but I was always like pretty private with my relationship to God and my Catholic stuff. But it was never like, I was kind of a dumb Christian. Like whenever I was in pain and I needed help, that's when I reached out and please help me. But when everything was fine, I like forgot that God was there. I was just so silly. Much better way to do it these days. So, so I thought, okay, I guess I'm going to win her back. If I'm going to stay alive, then maybe if I win her back, that'll end this misery. And so that's when I hit the books. I hit the gym. I read every magazine I could get my hands on. I would pull out workouts and do them and eat this stuff, eat this, and what they tell me to eat. And I would avoid that. And it worked. Every week, lost more and more weight. Loving my life. Each day it became more or less, less and less miserable. I had that goal in about 6 months that I was going to be rocking a hot body, and she was going to see me from across the room at the bar, and it was going to be slow motion. And I'd be there with my gleaming biceps, holding onto a beer, with my skin-tight T-shirt, with my chesticles popping out and my nice square shoulders popping out, and she was going to go, her jaw was going to drop, and I was going to fill me up with so much glee and joy. I was like, that's what fired me up every single day, going towards that. And I'll tell you what happened with us before long. I'll tell you some other time what happened with us. Anyways, I was in school at the time to become a school teacher, elementary school teacher, because Dr. Cook said, you're kind of good at this stuff. Maybe you should do this. I'm like, oh, okay. And so I had to go to school for something, so I might as well go with what the teachers are telling me to go for. And so meanwhile, I'm spending all my energy and passion and focus just loving that life of health and fitness. Just because of what it did for me, how it saved me, how it rescued me. And then people noticed the changes in me, so they asked me how I did it. I'm like, oh, I did this, and this. And they went off and did that. And they ended up getting results, and they ended up blaming it on me. And I would read the testimonial, and I'm like, wow, that's because of me. I did that. So I switched everything over to become a personal trainer and thought that would be pretty awesome if I could do that for life. And it's basically where I've been ever since. A lot of twists and turns from then on, but that's kind of it in a nutshell. I'll tell you how I ended up on my own and into this world of entrepreneurship. I ended up becoming a personal trainer at a couple of gyms, and we'll say it didn't quite work out. My whole life, that entrepreneurship, that Herbalife kindled in me, that Rich Dad Poor Dad kindled me. Like I could never forget about it. Like it was always there. I was always kind of like distrustful of jobs and being an employee, and just didn't sit right with me, and authority. Just kind of always had that entrepreneur dream. So you're probably wondering where it all started there. Why I even talk to you about Deb and the forbidden letter. Why I talked to you about that. Well, it turns out, Mom Ware, that when I was trying to get that job at the Menards place all those years ago, I was trying to get there. found out a couple years later that her brother, Deb's brother, was the one that was doing the hiring. And he looks at my application, and he sees that I worked at that McDonald's, and he's like, oh, I know somebody that works over there. So he calls up his sister, says, yeah, I got this Eric guy. So you work with him. What? Anything you can tell me about him? Oh, my gosh, don't hire him. He says, this, that. He's like, oh, okay, I won't. Thanks, Deb. Bye for now. I don't know if her name was Deb, to be honest with you. It was so long ago. I'm just using that name as a filler name for now. So that one letter sent me down a path, sent me down learn about Herbalife, sent me down that book, sent me down, I don't know. I think she probably would have still broke up with me. But I think it still sent me down that path where I'm talking to you today, figuring it all out. It's just amazing, like one little thing like that, just boom, 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 boom. So thank you for listening to me. I did make it home perfectly safe. I'm home right now. I'm going to go work on some stuff for you. And thank you for listening to that. Thank you for letting me share my story. If you found any resonance with it, not like resonance, like Resident Evil. I'm like resonated, like that kind of resonance. Is that a real word? Did I use that word wrong there? So I hope some of it was pretty learning for you how to go about things. Don't rape your potential customers. Don't ad rape, as I like to call it. Don't promotional rape your customers, your distributors, your downlines, friends, and family. Please don't do that. Maybe it works here and there. I don't know. Maybe it works. Maybe it was just me. Maybe it was just all wrong. I don't know. Herbalife knows what they're doing. They're obviously doing pretty good for themselves. So I think they should just keep doing what they're doing. Yeah, there's a lot better ways. So much better ways. And that's why you are here. I'm going to teach you all those, Mom. Hey, so I really, really appreciate you. I just know that it's okay to feel different. It's okay to not feel like everybody else. It's okay to think things that nobody else thinks, because that's all there for a reason. That's that greatness in you that's in there, Mom. And it's okay that you feel like you don't just want to be a homemaker, that you just don't want to be a housewife. Like you just get antsy, you get riled up, you want to start coaching people, you want to start helping people, you want to start changing lives. There's just there's something in you that you just got to do, and that's awesome, Mom. That's amazing. That's beautiful. It's nothing that's wrong with you at all. Like you're okay. You want to feel guilty, you're working on your business, and then you got to be a mom, and then you got to work on your business, and you feel like you're taken away from your family, and you're like, oh, I'm still a good mom. I'm here to tell you, it's okay to go. You have permission to release the guilt, because when you're showing up in your business, when you're feeding that's in your soul, when you're feeding that spirit that's in you, Mom, now you're able to show up for those kids and that family even more. And the two are conjoined. Like, there's no reason why you can't use being parenting examples in your business and use that as a thingy, something. So I gotta go. It's been a pleasure. You've been awesome, audience. You've been awesome listening to me. You're such a good listener, Mom. You're such a good listener. Thank you so much. Bring it in here. Big hug. You go on, okay, kiddo? You go get them. You go have at her. Go do some good today. Go share your product. Go share your story a little bit. And remember, 3, 2, 1. You're going to shout this with me from here on out, okay? 3, 2, 1. Take action! Good. I hurt your face, Mom. We'll talk to you later. Mwah. Hey, Mom! So do you believe in your product or service? Do you think it really helps people? And are you looking for direction as far as where to go to get your product into more people, to get your opportunity to more people? But apart from talking to your friends and family and aka your connections, maybe burnt them out already, maybe approached them already, and you don't know what to do beyond just blasting messages on Facebook, and you want to build a business around this MLM product of yours, but you don't know what to do? great. You're in the right place. We're going to help you. Go to misfitmomwarrior.com/Katniss. And I'll show you how to become a badass recruiter and seller of your product in 5 days. There I teach you the 5 essentials of what it means to be an attraction-based marketer, ABM. And like it or not, MLM is dying. ABM is on the rise. Nobody listens to what MLM is. It's all ABM these days. So head on over there, and we'll see you there. Mwah! Thank you for being great and awesome and wonderful, and keep helping change those lives that you are.